What's up, everybody? Welcome to Omega's short and sweet reviews. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Omega, aren't you supposed to do full-length reviews? Yeah, I know. But as you may have noticed, I have a very busy schedule, so doing these shorter reviews actually allow me to hit multiple shows in a single video, instead of taking forever on a single one. Without further ado, let's get started. First on the list is Deadman Wonderland, the story of a young man named Ganta Higurashi, who is framed for the murder of his class, the true culprit being the mysterious Red Man. Found guilty of the crime, he must spend time in the maximum security prison/amusement park, Deadman Wonderland. In this prison, Ganta realizes that he has a newfound power to control his blood, a power shared by several inmates of Deadman Wonderland. Curious as to how he obtained this power and what it means, Ganta must dig deeper into the true purpose behind this demented institution. Deadman Wonderland's story and characters, while interesting in some regards, are never fully developed or delved into 100%. The plot just suddenly ends at episode 12 and leaves the viewer high and dry. Many characters fade into the background and never return, and many subplots are skimmed over or only lightly touched upon. Many great characters are underutilized, like Senji Kiyomasa, who plays a wonderful part early on and then just disappears before the final episodes. In a word, this show is lacking in many areas, and while it's a fresh idea in the currently oversaturated market, it still has plenty of stereotypical elements from shonen anime to keep it from being too much of a departure from the familiar. Deadman Wonderland is simply average, perfectly mediocre. Up next is Samurai 7, based on the famous Akira Kurosawa film of a similar name, just reversed. It follows a village in need of protection from large mechanized bandits called Nobuseri, who terrorize them and steal their crops. In a last-ditch effort, it is decided that 3 villagers go to the city to hire a total of 7 samurai, as that's all they can afford to hire. One by one, they discover amazingly talented samurai who are wandering ronin or taking odd jobs, and then recruit them to fight. Samurai 7 is an amazing adaptation of the source material from which it was derived. The plot is well-paced and never drags, the characters are fun and sympathetic, the action is over the top, done oh so right, and the overall presentation is simply fantastic. That isn't to say that the show has no flaws, mainly with animation and how it tends to jump around from really good to junior high notebook doodles. Plus, the CGI for the Nobuseri really clashes with the animation, making them look like they don't belong. In the end, this doesn't affect my decision too much. Samurai 7 is definitely worth watching, but maybe not a purchase since the show is constantly on TV somewhere, whether it be IFC or Toonami. The last show for today is Eureka 7. The show follows Renton Thurston, a teenage boy who hates where he lives, instead wanting to fly like his father and his idol Alan Novak. One day, a mech known as the Nirvash Type 0 crashes by his home, and sighs a blue-haired girl named Eureka, who Renton falls madly in love with at first sight, and blah 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 blah. Look, I'll sum up my thoughts on Eureka 7 in 2 words. It sucks. Eureka 7 bombards the viewer with ham-fisted dialogue and tones right out of the starting gate and never lets up. While the voice acting is superb and the animation quality is stunning and quite consistent for the most part, the story and characters don't make up for it. The cast itself ranges from okay to kill it with fire levels of bad. The plot is quite possibly the most horrible thing about the show, as it throws the viewer into a world that is vastly different from their own without any exposition, preferring to execute plot dumps the equivalent in scale to carpet bombing. I have to issue a moderate advisory against Eureka 7 because it really is not worth watching at all. Well, that concludes today's short and sweet reviews. Be sure to tune in next time, everyone. This is Omega, the final word in all things anime.